Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2 of the Learn to Knit series, and today I am going to be showing you almost all the stitches that you need to know as a beginner knitter, or a knitter in general, honestly. When I was learning how to knit, I would have to go between all these little clips of here's a purl stitch, here's a make one right, here's this, here's that, and search for them on YouTube, and I would have just loved if someone made a video with all of them. Now, this is not every stitch in knitting that has ever existed. That would take forever. We're going to cover all the stitches that you would need to make a basic sweater, which I find is the most common goal for a new knitter. It was me, and we want to get you working towards that goal as soon as possible, because I feel like when you are working towards something that you are really excited about and you get to wear at the end, you are going to have these tools and stitches and all that stuff stick in your head more. If you're kind of a pro at the knit stitch at this point, find a sweater or something you want to wear or something you're excited about that you feel like is a little bit of a stretch for you, and start it. Use this video as a guide for all the stitches that you might need. You will be able to make it. If you set your mind to something that is a stretch, you're working towards something. It's exciting, and then we will learn the stitches along the way. Today we're going to learn like 11 or 12 stitches. It's going to be pretty quick. We are going to cover the basics of those stitches, and you're going to be using them by the end of this video. I guarantee it. So here's a knit stitch. So for us to knit, our yarn is going to be in the back of the work. We're going to hold the working yarn with our right hand. I like to hold mine with my 3 middle ring and pinky finger, and then kind of bring my pointer finger around to kind of hold that tension on the working yarn. You're going to insert your right needle from left to right in the front. So it looks like that. Then you're going to bring your working yarn under and around the right needle. Take your left needle and pull this stitch over the new one on your right, and then pull the old stitch off of your left needle. Let's do it a few more times. Left to right, over and under, old stitch over new stitch, old stitch off the left needle. One more time. Left to right, under and over, old stitch over new stitch, old stitch off the left needle. Next up is the opposite of the knit stitch. It is the purl stitch. The purl stitch it gets a lot of hate for some reason, and I don't get that. I kind of love purling. I did hate it for a while. I have been on both sides, but I definitely have become a purl girly. And purling's very important because in knitting there's something called stockinette stitch, which I will put on the screen. Stockinette stitch is like the V-shape pattern that looks like the tried and true. When you think about knitting, you think about this type of stitch pattern. When you're working flat, that means you're going back and forth across the rows, turning them every row, not working in the round. You have to purl every other row in order to get that stockinette V-shape look. There are a lot of patterns and things that require you to knit flat, and one of those being a cardigan. If you ever want to make a cardigan, you have to learn how to purl. If you want to learn how to do the rib stitch, you have to know how to purl. So let's learn how to purl. Okay, we're going to learn how to purl. Our yarn is going to be in the front as opposed to the knitting stitch where it's in the back. We want to make sure it's between the 2 needles in the front. So we're good to go here. You're going to take your right needle and insert into the front from right to left, like that. You're going to take your working yarn, wrap over and under your right needle. You're going to take your right needle and pull the stitch on the right needle underneath the stitch on the left, and then take your old stitch off the left needle. Let's do it one more time. From right to left in the front, insert your right needle, wrap over and around, pull that new stitch through the loop of the old stitch, and then pull that old stitch off of your left needle. We are going to now talk about increases. Increases are exactly what they sound like. They are there to increase stitches in your work, in your project. This is meant to help you in sweater construction, shirt construction, any kind of garment. You're going to have increases. It's a very necessary tool to get you on your way to making whatever you want to make. If it's garments, great. If it's a Sophie scarf, whatever. This is going to be very important. We have two types of increases, one to the right and one to the left. Those are important because if you do a increase to the left and it was supposed to be right, then your construction of your sweater is going to be very messed up. So it's important to understand why you're doing them. We're first going to learn how to do the knit one right and the knit one left. Those are the two most common because a lot of times when you're working on a sweater, you're going to be working in the round. Knit one right and knit one left are really common in that kind of sweater construction. I'm going to teach you how to know what to look for when you're trying to decide if you're knitting one right or knitting one left, and also how to do them. So let's get into it. We're now going to learn to make one right. So as you can see here, I have been doing this increase of make one right on this side all along my work. You can see how it's increased out to the right this whole way. This is my stitch marker, just ignore that. It's kind of jank. So when you're making one right, this bar in between these two stitches, this one right here, is really important. You're going to take your left needle and bring it behind and under that bar, like that. You're basically, you are making a new stitch, but it's going to want to lean right. It wants to lean to the right. So, and now you're going to knit this like a normal stitch. So we're going to take and insert from left to right. And then keep knitting normally. Okay, let's do the make one right one more time. So we see that bar in the middle of the two stitches. We're going to take our left needle and go back to front underneath. So we have kind of a new stitch on our left needle. We're going to knit that new stitch. And that's your make one right. Now we're going to look at making one left. As you can see on my work here, I've been making one left out this way for quite a few rows, and that's what this is kind of dividing. So make one left is the opposite of make one right. You're wanting to increase to the left. So you're going to do the exact opposite. This bar right here is very important. You're going to take and insert from the front and underneath, and then you have a new stitch. We are going to be doing this one a little bit differently. Take this needle and go through the back loop, almost as if to purl, but your yarn's in the back. So let's do that one more time. Going through the back loop, wrap around, and knit normally. And that is a make one left increase. Now that you know how to knit one right and knit one left, we're gonna change it up and do the opposite. We're gonna do purl one right and purl one left. This is not as common. This is something that you might encounter in a cardigan or something that is worked flat. For the most part, it's definitely gonna be something that is worked flat. So here's how to do the purl one right and purl one left, and I'm going to try to explain it to you to the best of my ability, but do know that these are my least favorite stitches to exist, probably. But you will need them, so let's try it. Okay, we're going to learn how to purl one left. So make a left leaning increase with purling. You're going to go from front to back, and then you're going to look and insert your right needle from left to right or back to front, bottom to top in the back loop like that. You're going to take this working yarn, wrap it around, and then purl as normal. Now if we were going to do a purl one right increase, you're going to take the yarn from front to back, and then you're going to just purl as normal through the front, like so. Let's talk about decreases. You will have to decrease in a lot of projects. This is obviously going to make your garment or whatever you're making smaller, and a lot of times that's going to happen on the sleeves. When you're working a sleeve, you start bigger and usually work down to where the cuff is fitting around your wrist snugly or more snug than the top of the sleeve. And one way to do this is a knit two together or a purl two together. If you're working on sleeves, you're going to be using the knit two together a lot. I think it's kind of a fun stitch because you're getting to like knit two together. I don't know, I've always thought it's fun when I see that. Also, it kind of means that your project is getting less stitches, which means that you're going to work through the row a lot quicker. So let's try the knit two together and we'll come back. We're also going to learn how to knit two together. So this is what it says it is. You're just going to knit 2 stitches on this left needle into 1 on the right as a decrease. So you're going to knit, you're going to go into the second one from you. So knit those 2 as they were 1 stitch, and then knit as normal. So the second stitch away from me is right here. I'm going to go in there. Go in there as if to knit, and knit as normal. And while we're on the decrease train, let's try our purl two together. We're going to learn how to purl two together. So this is exactly what it says it is. You're going to take 2 stitches from your left needle and purl them together onto your right. This is a decrease. So you're going to take 1, 2, as if to purl. So you have those 2 stitches, make sure you're holding on to them pretty tight, and then purl those 2 stitches as if they were 1. We have 2 more stitches to talk about today. One is going to be the knit through the back loop and purl through the back loop. These are meant to twist your knit or purl stitch in the direction that isn't normally. Sometimes a pattern will call for it, and it's pretty easy. It's not too difficult. It will like hurt your brain a little bit to think about not knitting or purling through the front of the stitch, but once you get the hang of it, you will be fine. It will be easy. When you see knit through the back loop, you'll be able to do it. So let's get into it. We're going to learn to knit through the back loop. As you can see here, I've done a long line of these in this pattern. Our yarn needs to be behind. We're going to take our right needle and we're going to insert from right to left through the back loop of the stitch and knit as normal. Let's do that one more time. Yarn's in the back. We're going to take our right needle and insert from right to left into the back loop of our stitch and knit as normal. Okay, and the purl through the back loop stitch is the same thing but purling. This one's a little bit trickier because it's not exactly what you think it is, and you'll see what I mean when you can see it in action. But you're going to take your right needle and purl through from left to right of the back loop of the stitch on your left hand needle. That might not mean a lot to you right now, but you will see what I mean right now. Okay, so my yarn's in the front. I'm going to purl through the back loop. If you're looking at your stitch this way, you're going to take your right needle and insert from back to front of the back loop, or left to right. Take your working yarn and then purl as normal. So let's talk acronyms. When you are reading a pattern, all of these stitches are going to have individual acronyms that you will need to learn. Once you get going and you're seeing these all the time, they will start clicking in your mind, but I have had to definitely look up a lot of stitches and be like, okay, what does this mean? Why is this acronym so strange, and what am I supposed to do with it? A lot of patterns will have some info in the beginning of it of what each acronym means, but I thought it would be helpful to go through all of them in a video and just kind of talk through what they mean. So first up, we have K and P, knit and purl. Those are your tried and true girlies. They are going to be everywhere. And sometimes you'll see like K1 or K58 or whatever. Same thing with P1, P58. It just means knit that many stitches. Knit 1 or knit 58 stitches. Purl 1 or purl 58 stitches. I don't know why I'm picking 1 and 58, but those are the numbers that came to my mind. So if you see a K or P, know that K stands for knit and P stands for purl. Getting a little bit trickier, we have M1L and M1R. These are going to mean make one right or make one left. That means you're increasing one to the right or increasing one to the left. These are most commonly seen when you're doing a knit increase. That brings me to my next point. You will see P1R or P1L if you're purling and doing a right or left increase. So, since you're a pro at K and P, you can kind of deduct that if it says P1R, P1L, it's purl. If it's M1L or M1R, it doesn't have a K in it, but that means knit the majority of the time. We also have Ptbl and Ktbl. This does not mean purl table or knit table. Every time I see it, I think table. I don't know why. I know what it means, but my brain goes, knit table? What does that mean? It means knit through the back loop or purl through the back loop. You might also see P2TOG or K2TOG, which, what does that mean? I will tell you. So those are the acronyms for knitting two or purling two together. Taking two stitches on your left needle and converting them into one on your right. Decreasing two into one. And these are pretty common. So when you see K2TOG or P2TOG, you know that that means knit or purl two together. Now that we have learned so many stitches together, I want to encourage you to find a pattern that feels a little bit difficult to you, and you can really work on these stitches and learn them inside of the context of a pattern. You will see that it works wonders to be working on something that you're proud of. I would love to see what you make if you end up using this video for your sweater or scarf or whatever making journey. Drop a picture in the comments of what you make. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will be glad to help in any way I can, and I will see you next time. Bye!